So simple tutorial. Good morning students. Welcome to SST. So simple tutorial. In the previous class we had read the reasons of the disintegration of Soviet Union. You may recall some like economic failures, heavy spending on militarization, administrative and political stagnation, Gorbachev's reforms, and rise of nationalism among various republics with the USSR, etc. etc. Today we will discuss shock therapy. We are all aware of the term therapy. Therapy means treatment. Treatment that helps someone feel better, grow stronger. You must have heard of physiotherapy. When plaster is removed or when someone has some kind of pain in walking, particularly sports person after an injury, they go for physiotherapy. Similarly, there is shock therapy. Shock therapy means treating a patient by administering some shock or blow. Shock therapy, dear students, referred to here is an economic theory that says that sudden dramatic changes in national economic policy can turn a state controlled economy into a free market economy. So, shock therapy is a group of policies that is meant to liberalize an economy. Shock therapy generally includes ending price controls, stopping government subsidies, privatizing state owned industries, and tighter fiscal policies such as higher rate taxes and lowered government spending. It also includes trade liberalization. But then, what is the objective of doing all these? The objective of shock therapy is to cure economic maladies like hyperinflation, shortages, to boost economic production, reduce unemployment, and improve living standards. I hope you have understood what is shock therapy and what treatment it does. Now, what we have read so far is that of all East European countries that were part of Soviet bloc had become free from Soviet control. Thereafter, Soviet Union also disintegrated. The former Soviet republics, including Russia, also became independent states. Communism collapsed. Capitalism was adopted in these states. Each of these countries was required to make a total shift to a capitalist economy. So, was this transition to a totally opposite system going to be so easy? No, not at all. This was going to be full of problems and challenges. It was going to be painful because of shock therapy. It was difficult for the newly independent countries to suddenly embrace these changes. After the end of the communist rule, something like this happened in Russia. An effort was made to establish a new order in place of the then existing political economic system. Till the other day, there was communist dictatorship in Russia, but now democratic institutions were to be set up. So far, agriculture and industries was under state control, but now they were to be owned by private individuals. Because this is what happens in capitalist societies. How strange it is it not? One day after October Revolution in 1917 under Lenin, things were nationalized. Now things are taking a U-turn. See the destiny of a nation. The task of transforming collective farms into private farms and bring state industry under private sector was not easy. Historically, Soviet Union had pursued the policy of self-sufficiency. She traded very little. Her foreign trade played a minor role in the economy. Bulk of her economic activities was conducted with communist countries only, particularly those of Eastern Europe. Therefore, switching to free trade was considered essential. Shock therapy, dear students, involved development of free trade and allowing foreign investment, deregulation, and currency convertibility. Allowing foreign investment meant foreign companies could invest in the host country now. The advantage of foreign investment is that it brings not only money but also new technologies. Deregulation meant removal or reduction of government regulations in industries. That meant allowing industries to take their own decisions and operate business freely. Understood? Now, as this transition occurred, there was a change in the nature and direction of trade alliances among the countries of Soviet bloc also. Existing trade alliances among the Soviet bloc countries were dismantled. Each state from the bloc was now linked directly to the West and not to each other in the region. They were going to be the part of Western economic system. The Western capitalist states now became the leaders and thus guided and controlled the development of the region through various agencies and organizations, particularly IMF. The IMF played a key role in helping the countries of the former Soviet bloc transition from central planning to market driven economy. Understood? Let us now see the consequences of shock therapy. Did the shock therapy yield the desired result? No, it did not deliver what was expected. Rather, it brought ruin to the economies and disaster upon the people of the entire region. Let us divide the consequences under three heads: economic, social, and political consequences, and then read. Okay, first, economic consequences. In Russia, the large state controlled industrial complex almost collapsed. These industries were undervalued and put up for sale to private individuals and companies at throwaway prices. That is why it was called the largest garage sale in history. Garage sale means, sale of used unwanted household goods that is kept in the garage or in front of someone's house. You can see this in the picture. Garage sale is just like we sell discarded household goods to kabadiwala at a very cheap price. This was the condition of industries. It is said that these industries were even given to the relatives of Boris Yeltsin at far less value than they were worth of. Although all citizens were also given vouchers to participate in the sales, but most of them sold their vouchers in black market because they needed the money. The value of ruble, the Russian currency, declined drastically. In 1992, whereas 1 US dollar was equal to 125 rubles, in 1998 its value came down to about 6,000 rubles. The rate of inflation was also very high. Inflation, dear students, occurs when there is an increase in the prices of goods and services. That means people could buy less things for 1 ruble now than what they could buy before. So they lost all of their savings. The collective farm system also collapsed. The production of food grain came down and Russia started to import food from other parts of the world. The real GDP of Russia in 1999 came down far below what it was in 1989. Let us now see the social consequences. The old system of social security was destroyed. The government withdrew the subsidies that it used to give to its people. As you know, people were entitled earlier to receive state assistances during the old age and illness. Free medical treatment was available to the poor and needy, but now this system was broken. So a large number of people went below the poverty line. As a result, the middle class suffered and was pushed to the margins. The academic and intellectual class fled away wherever they could. A mafia emerged in most of these countries and started controlling many economic activities. Privatization led to new disparities. There emerged a division between the rich and poor regions in post-Soviet states, especially Russia. Unlike the earlier system, there was now great economic inequality between people. Understood? Let us now see the political consequences. Building of democratic institutions was not given adequate attention and priority as was given to economic transformation. The constitutions of all these countries were drafted in a hurry, and most of them, including Russia, had a strong executive president with the widest possible powers. that made elected parliaments very weak. In Central Asia, for example, the presidents of Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, the presidents had great powers and several of them became very authoritarian. First, they appointed themselves to power for 10 years and then extended it for another 10 years. They did not allow any dissent or opposition. A judicial culture and the independence of judiciary was yet to be established in most of these countries. Dear students, the economic revival of most of these countries took some time. If you see Russia, it started reviving in 2000, some 10 years after their independence. The reason for the economic revival for most of these countries was the export of natural resources like oil, natural gas, and minerals. Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Russia, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan are major oil and gas producers. Other countries have also gained because of the oil pipelines that cross through their territories for which they get rent. Some amount of manufacturing has also started. So, this is all about shock therapy and its consequences. Let me stop here, students. I think now you must have got an idea of what shock therapy is and when this was applied to the post Soviet states and East European countries, what its consequences were. Now you go through your textbook properly to have a better understanding of the topic. In the next class, we will discuss tensions and conflicts. Till then, keep reading and have a nice time. Thank you.